There is a quiet strategy being used by the wealthiest investors and corporations in the world, and most people have never heard of it. While everyday consumers see artificial intelligence hardware as an expensive luxury, the ultra-rich see it as something entirely different. They see it as a self-financing asset. The graphics processing units powering modern artificial intelligence systems cost tens of thousands of dollars each. A single high-end chip from NVIDIA, like the H100, can cost anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 on the open market. Yet the people buying these chips by the thousands are not losing sleep over the price tag. That is because they have engineered a system where the hardware essentially pays for itself, and in many cases generates profit before a single payment is due. One of the most powerful tools in this playbook is the sale and leaseback arrangement. Here is how it works. A wealthy investor or company purchases a large quantity of artificial intelligence hardware outright. They then immediately sell that hardware to a financial institution or leasing company, receiving their capital back almost instantly. The original buyer then leases the same hardware back from the financial institution, paying a monthly fee to continue using it. The result is that the investor recovers their upfront cost while retaining full operational use of the equipment. The monthly lease payments are often structured to be lower than the revenue the hardware generates through cloud computing services or artificial intelligence workloads. This means the hardware is generating more income than it costs to maintain, creating a net positive cash flow from day one. Another method involves using low-interest debt to finance hardware acquisitions. Wealthy individuals and institutions have access to credit lines and structured loans that ordinary people simply cannot obtain. A hedge fund or private equity firm might borrow $100 million at an interest rate of 4 or 5% annually. They deploy that capital into artificial intelligence infrastructure, then rent out computing power to businesses, research institutions, and artificial intelligence startups at rates that generate returns of 15 to 25% annually. The spread between the borrowing cost and the return on the hardware is pure profit. The debt is serviced by the hardware itself, and the investor never touches their own liquid capital. This is the same principle that real estate investors have used for decades, now applied to the technology sector with even greater velocity. The financial engineering does not stop at financing. Tax law in many countries, particularly in the United States, provides accelerated depreciation schedules for technology hardware. Under provisions like Section 179 and bonus depreciation rules, businesses can deduct the full cost of qualifying equipment in the year it is purchased, rather than spreading deductions over several years. This means a company that spends $10 million on artificial intelligence chips can potentially write off that entire amount against taxable income in year one. If that company is in a high tax bracket, the effective cost of the hardware drops dramatically after the tax benefit is applied. The rich are not just buying hardware. They are buying tax shields that reduce their overall liability while simultaneously building revenue-generating infrastructure. What makes this entire system so powerful is how each layer compounds on the others. The hardware generates revenue. That revenue services the debt. The debt interest is tax-deductible. The hardware itself is depreciated for additional tax savings. The freed-up capital is reinvested into more hardware or other assets. Meanwhile, the demand for artificial intelligence computing power continues to grow at an extraordinary pace, meaning the revenue potential of these assets is not shrinking. It is expanding. Ordinary people are told that artificial intelligence hardware is too expensive to own, and for someone buying a single unit with personal savings, that is true. But for those who understand how to layer financing, leasing, tax strategy, and revenue generation together, the hardware never really costs anything at all. The system pays for itself and then it pays them.